Look at you. Useless, worthless, a burden to me and this house. You should just die and save me. The trouble. Those were the merciless words her husband spat just before he did the unthinkable. Broken in spirit and body, she collapsed to the floor, her life hanging by a thread. Beside her, two little voices cried, her 3-year-old twins, too small to understand, yet desperate enough to act. With trembling hands, they dialed a random number, a call that would change everything. Sometimes the ones too weak to save themselves are rescued in ways no one can explain. Sometimes innocence carries the power that even the strongest cannot muster. This is the story of a mother brought to the edge of death, and the twins whose tiny hands held the key to her survival. And today it is being retold by me. Hello family, welcome back. Before we begin, I have a small but heartfelt request. Please, subscribe. Your support is what keeps these stories alive. Every time you click that button, you're helping us share voices that would otherwise be forgotten and stories that deserve to be heard. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from and how this touched you. From the outside, Emily's life looked perfect. A mansion with gates taller than most people's houses. 2 shiny cars parked in the driveway. Designer clothes draped across her shoulders when she went out with her husband. And at every social event, Michael Stone, her husband, wrapped an arm around her like she was his prized possession. The world believed she was living a dream, but the truth was a nightmare. Because behind closed doors, Michael's love curdled into poison. Look at you, he sneered one evening, standing in the middle of their immaculate kitchen while Emily quietly served dinner. Pathetic. You can't cook, you can't clean right, you can't even smile. Without looking like you're begging for pity. Emily kept her head down, lips trembling. She had learned long ago not to answer back. Michael wasn't done. He leaned closer, his voice sharp as broken glass. Do you know what people say when they see us? They wonder why I settled for you. You drag me down, Emily. You embarrass me. You should be grateful I kept you. Without me, you'd be rotting in the gutter with those brats of yours. Her heart squeezed. Those brats. He meant Ella and Ethan, their 3-year-old twins, the only light in her life. Emily whispered, Please, Michael. Not in front of the children. His hand slammed against the table, rattling the silverware. The twins jumped, wide-eyed and frightened. Don't tell me what to do, he roared. This is my house, my money, my life. You're nothing but dead weight, parasite. You should thank me every day I don't throw you and your little pests onto the street. The words cut deeper than any knife. Emily swallowed her tears, clutching the edge of the table to stop her hands from shaking. But Michael wasn't satisfied. His eyes glinted with cold hatred as he leaned so close she could feel his breath. You think you're a wife? You think you're a mother? You're worthless. You should just die and save me the trouble. He shoved her backward. Emily stumbled, crashing hard against the wall. Pain shot through her back, but Michael only sneered. Ella cried out, Daddy, stop! Ethan's little voice quivered. Leave Mommy alone. Michael's glare turned to them. Shut up, both of you, or you'll end up just as useless as her. The twins whimpered, clinging to each other. Emily struggled to rise, her body aching. But Michael's fury boiled hotter. He struck her once, twice, until her vision blurred. Finally, he spat at her feet. I should have left you long ago. You're nothing, Emily. Nothing. With that, he stormed out, slamming the door so hard the walls trembled. The mansion, so grand and beautiful on the outside, echoed with silence. And on the cold floor, Emily lay broken, her spirit crushed, her body barely clinging to strength. Mommy? Mommy, wake up! Ella's little hands shook Emily's shoulders, but she didn't stir. Her face was pale, her breath shallow. Ethan clutched his sister's hand. His small voice trembled. What do we do? The twins had never seen their mother like this. She was always strong, always smiling for them. Now she lay still, broken. Ella spotted the phone on the coffee table. She scrambled for it, pressing buttons with clumsy Fingers. Numbers flashed across the screen. Random, jumbled. She didn't understand them, but desperation drove her tiny hands. Maybe it'll make her better, Ethan whispered. The phone rang. Once, twice, 3 times. Then a voice. Hello. Ella hiccuped through tears. Help. Mommy. Mommy won't wake up. The line went silent for a heartbeat. Then the voice grew urgent. Sweetheart, slow down. Where are you? What's your name? Ethan leaned close, shouting into the phone. Our mommy's hurt. Please help. The voice was calm now, steady like an anchor. Listen to me. Don't be scared. I'm coming. Stay with your mommy. Okay? Keep holding her hand. The twins nodded. Even though the stranger couldn't see them, they clung to Emily's hands, whispering, Don't go, Mommy. Don't leave us. Outside, the night stretched cold and silent. Inside, 2 small children had unknowingly reached the one person who would change the course of everything. In the distance, somewhere across the city, a man dropped his keys and grabbed his jacket. He wasn't family. He wasn't a friend. Just a stranger who had answered a call. But fate had chosen him. And soon, the path of Emily's life, broken, battered, and betrayed, would twist in ways no one could predict. Because sometimes the smallest hands carry the power to save. And sometimes the call you never meant to make is the very one that saves your life. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to join our community by hitting the subscribe button. Through our stories, we build hope and give a future to children and women who have been abused all over the world. Motivate us by subscribing and turning on your notification bell so you never miss a story that matters. Also, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from, and how did this story speak to you? The phone slipped from Ella's tiny hand, but the voice on the other end didn't hang up. Sweetheart, are you still there? The man urged. Listen to me. I'm going to help you. Just tell me, where's your mommy? Is she breathing? She's on the floor. Ethan's trembling voice answered. She won't wake up. She's not talking. David's chest tightened. He was a paramedic, though he wasn't on duty tonight. Still, instinct had kicked in the moment he heard the fear in the children's voices. Okay, he said firmly. You did the right thing calling. I need to know where you are. Ella stammered. Our house is big. It has a black gate and Daddy says it's the Stone house. David's mind raced. The Stones? Everyone in the city knew Michael Stone, the wealthy businessman with the perfect family. But what he was hearing wasn't perfect. It was desperate. I know where you live, David said quickly. Don't be scared. Stay by your mommy. Keep holding her hand. I'm on my way. He hung up, grabbed his keys and sped into the night. Inside the mansion, the twins huddled beside Emily. Don't leave us, Mommy, Ella sobbed. Please wake up, Ethan whispered. Emily's breaths came shallow and weak. Her lip was split, her cheek bruised, her chest rising only, in fragile rhythm. The front door burst open minutes later. David rushed in, his paramedic bag slung over his shoulder. He froze at the sight. 2 toddlers with tear-streaked faces, clinging to a motionless woman. Dear God, he muttered. Are you the man from the phone? Ella asked wide-eyed. Yes, David said gently, kneeling beside them. I'm here to help. He checked Emily's pulse, pressed 2 fingers to her wrist, leaned close to feel her faint breaths. Relief washed over him. She was alive, but barely. We need to get her to a hospital, he said. Scooping Emily into his arms, he carried her toward his car. The twins trailed close, refusing to let go. At the hospital, chaos erupted. Nurses rushed Emily into the emergency room. The twins clung to David's legs, sobbing as strangers wheeled their mother away. Where are they taking her? Ethan cried. To help her, David said softly, crouching to their level. Your mommy is very sick, but these doctors know what to do. You were so brave to call me. You saved her life. The children blinked at him, confused but comforted. Hours passed. David stayed. He bought the twins apple juice, wiped their tears, told them silly stories to keep them calm. Something about them pierced his heart. He had seen children before, in emergencies, but never like this, never so small, so brave, and so heartbreakingly alone. Finally, a doctor emerged. "She's stable," he announced. "Weak, but she'll survive." The twins clutched each other with relief. David exhaled the breath he hadn't realized he was holding. But while Emily fought for her life, Michael was already spinning his lies. By morning, he arrived at the hospital in a pressed suit, expression carefully arranged into worry. Family and friends gathered in the waiting room, eager for news. "My poor wife," Michael sighed dramatically. "She collapsed. The stress has been too much for her. I keep telling her to take care of herself, but she never listens." Gasps filled the room. "Oh, Michael, you've been through so much. She's lucky to have you." Michael bowed his head humbly, soaking in the sympathy. "I'll stay by her side no matter what, even when she makes it so difficult." No one questioned him. After all, Michael Stone was the perfect husband in their eyes. And Emily, weak, fragile Emily, was too easy to blame. By the time Emily awoke, her room was full of flowers and gifts from well-wishers. But her heart sank as she overheard the murmurs. Poor Michael. Imagine the stress of dealing with a wife like that. "She's always been delicate, hasn't she? Such a shame she can't keep up with him." Emily turned her face to the wall, silent tears sliding down. Not only had she nearly died, but her pain was being twisted into shame. And the one twisting it was her own husband. The betrayal deepened with Patricia. Emily had hoped her mother-in-law might show compassion. But when Patricia arrived, draped in pearls and perfume, her eyes held no sympathy. "You've embarrassed my son," she hissed the moment they were alone. "Collapsing like that, making a scene. People are talking. Emily, do you realize how much damage you've done to his reputation?" Emily's throat ached. "Patricia, I didn't collapse from stress." "Michael, enough," Patricia snapped. "Don't you dare speak against him. You've always been weak. He married you out of pity, and this is how you repay him? If you had any decency, you'd get out of his life and stop dragging him down." The words pierced Emily deeper than any wound Michael had left on her body. She turned her face to the pillow, sobbing silently. Patricia swept out of the room, satisfied. Through it all, David stayed in the background. He visited daily, checking on Emily, keeping the twins company. He didn't push, didn't pry, he simply became a steady presence, someone she could rely on when the rest of the world seemed poisoned against her. But Michael's mask never slipped in public. He brought flowers, held her hand for appearances, whispered loud enough for nurses to hear. "You have to stop worrying me like this, Emily. Everyone thinks you're unstable. Please try harder." The nurses nodded sympathetically. The staff believed him, and Emily sank deeper into isolation. Then came the night that shattered the last of her illusions. Emily lay awake, too weak to move. When the door cracked open, she heard Michael's voice, low, confident, Patricia's answering laugh. "Don't worry, Mother," Michael said. "This marriage was never about love. I married Emily for appearances, nothing more. She was convenient, weak, easy to control." Patricia chuckled. "And now, Michael's voice dripped with arrogance. "Now I'll be rid of her. I already have someone better, someone worthy of me." Emily was just a placeholder. The words slammed into Emily like fresh blows. Her chest constricted. Tears slid silently into her pillow. Her husband had never loved her, not even once. She had given him everything, her youth, her loyalty, her body, and he had seen her as nothing but a mask to wear until he found someone else. Her fingers clenched the sheets. Her heart burned with both grief and something new. Resolve. She whispered into the darkness, so softly no one else could hear. "You may have broken me, Michael, but I am not finished. One day, the truth will come for you." The twins had saved her once. Now she would rise, for them and for herself. The war for her life had only just begun. The days after Michael's chilling words passed in slow, heavy silence. Emily lay in her hospital bed, body wrapped in bruises, her spirit cracked in two. Everywhere she turned, pity or blame met her. Friends whispered that she was fragile. Nurses smiled at her with eyes full of judgment. Even Patricia, her mother-in-law, visited only to remind her of her supposed failures. "Do the decent thing," Patricia had hissed one afternoon, her pearls glinting under the fluorescent light. "Step aside gracefully. Michael deserves better. You've embarrassed him enough." Emily had no reply. She turned her face to the window, silent tears streaming down. But she wasn't completely alone. Her twins, Ella and Ethan, were constant lights in the darkness. Their tiny hands clutched hers, their voices soft but full of hope. "Mommy, when you come home, can we bake cookies again?" Ella asked one day, her eyes wide with innocence. "Yes," Emily whispered, her voice raw. "Yes, sweetheart. We'll bake cookies." Ethan leaned against her side. "Don't be sad, Mommy. We'll help you get strong." Their love was a lifeline. And then there was David. The paramedic had no reason to stay, yet he came every day. He sat with the twins while Emily slept, brought coloring books to distract them, fetched tea for her when her hands trembled. He asked nothing in return. "You don't have to keep coming," Emily murmured once, her voice heavy with shame. David shook his head. "I do, because you and your kids deserve someone who sees you, and because I've seen too many people not get back up. But I think you will, Emily. I think you're stronger than you know." The words stirred something in her chest, something long buried under fear. One evening, when the hospital quieted and the twins finally fell asleep on the couch beside her bed, a nurse slipped into the room. Her name tag read Clara. Her eyes darted to the door before she leaned close to Emily. "I shouldn't be doing this," Clara whispered, sliding a small flash drive into Emily's palm. "But I've seen too many women like you silenced. You need proof, and this is all I could gather." Emily blinked, stunned. "What is it?" "Security footage, medical records, everything showing you didn't collapse from stress. You were brought in battered and bleeding. And Michael," her lip curled. "He tried to bribe the staff to say otherwise. I couldn't let it happen." Emily's hand shook as she clutched the flash drive. Why are you helping me?" Clara's voice broke. "Because once I was you, and no one helped me." She left before Emily could answer, leaving behind a tiny piece of salvation. For the first time since the night she collapsed, Emily felt a spark of power flicker inside her. But fate wasn't done cutting her open. A week later, while Patricia argued loudly at the nurse's station, Emily overheard a conversation she wasn't meant to hear. Two lawyers passed by her door, murmuring about financial reports. "Michael Stone's been liquidating assets quietly," one said, "even dipped into his wife's inheritance, the trust her late father left her. Almost half gone now." Emily's blood ran cold. Her father's inheritance, the only piece of security she had clung to after losing him. Money he had left specifically to ensure his daughter would always be safe. Michael had stolen it, piece by piece, while she suffered, while she raised their children, while she trusted him. The betrayal was a knife twisting in her gut. Not only had he broken her body, not only had he broken her heart, he had stolen her future too. Her fists clenched in the sheets. Silent rage coursed through her veins, and with it came clarity. Lying awake that night, Emily whispered into the dark, "If you want me gone, Michael, then I will rise instead. You took everything from me, but I still have myself. I still have my children, and I will not let you win." It wasn't loud. It wasn't strong. But it was the beginning. Her ashes stirred, and slowly she began to rise. Recovery was painful. Every movement reminded Emily of Michael's blows. Every bruise was a reminder of his words, "You should just die." But she refused to sink back into despair. She began physical therapy, forcing her body to heal. She read quietly when she couldn't move, feeding her mind with strength. She held her children close, promising them a future better than the nightmare they lived in. David noticed the change. "You're different," he said one morning, watching her from the chair beside her bed. Emily smiled faintly. "I've been at the bottom. There's nowhere left to go but up." David's eyes softened. "That's the Emily I knew was there." Michael continued his charade. He strutted through the hospital halls with flowers, shook hands with visitors, lamented his troubled wife. "She doesn't appreciate what she has," he sighed loudly to a friend. "But I've stood by her. Sacrificed." Everyone nodded, praising him. Emily bit her tongue. For now, because she had the flash drive. She had proof. She just needed the right time to use it. Then, one afternoon, while Patricia scolded the twins for being too noisy, Emily overheard another conversation. This one wasn't whispered. Michael had entered the room with his phone pressed to his ear. He spoke with the smugness of a man who thought the world bent to him. "Yes, darling," he said. "Soon. The divorce papers will be handled quietly. We'll make our announcement at the gala. Everyone will see us together, and Emily will fade into the background, where she belongs." Emily's stomach twisted. "Announcement?" Michael chuckled. "I can't wait, my love. You're everything she never was. Smart, beautiful, worthy of me." Patricia's eyes glittered with approval. "She's perfect for you, Michael. Unlike that pathetic daughter-in-law of mine." Emily's heart pounded. A gala, an engagement announcement, while she was still his wife, while she still lay in a hospital bed, healing from the wounds he had given her. Her hands shook, but not from weakness, from rage, from resolve. This was no longer just survival. It was war. That night, after the twins fell asleep and the halls grew quiet, Emily held the flash drive in her hand. She stared at it, tears burning her eyes. This small piece of plastic was her weapon, her chance to show the world the truth. And she whispered again into the darkness. "You thought I was broken, Michael. But you will learn that I am stronger than you ever imagined." The ashes of her old self scattered away, and from them Emily Stone began to rise. The ballroom glittered like a palace. Crystal chandeliers cast golden light over the marble floor. Waiters weaved through the crowd with trays of champagne. Journalists, politicians, investors, the most powerful people in the city, had all gathered for Michael Stone's gala. And tonight, whispers buzzed louder than the orchestra. "They say he's announcing something big. Perhaps a new venture?" "No, I heard it's personal. Something about his private life." Michael stood at the center of it all, tall, confident, dressed in a tailored suit. His smile was flawless, his charm effortless. Beside him, a woman clung to his arm, young, stunning, shimmering in silver. His mistress, though the crowd didn't yet know it. Emily's replacement. At the edge of the ballroom, the doors creaked open. Heads turned. Conversations hushed. And there she was, Emily, thin from weeks in the hospital, her face still bearing faint marks of healing bruises, but her posture straight, her eyes burning with quiet fire. She wore a simple black dress, nothing compared to the glittering gowns around her. Yet in that moment she outshone them all. Gasps rippled through the room. "Isn't that his wife? I thought she was ill. What is she doing here?" Michael's face froze. For a split second the mask cracked. But then he plastered on a smile. "Emily?" he said loudly, his voice dripping with false warmth. "What a surprise." His mistress stiffened at his side, her eyes darting nervously. Emily stepped forward, her heels clicking against the marble. Her voice was calm, steady. "Don't worry, Michael. I won't take long. I just came to tell the truth." The crowd stirred. Journalists leaned forward, sensing scandal. Michael laughed, a hollow, brittle sound. "The truth? Darling, you're not well. Everyone here knows you've been under tremendous stress. Perhaps you should rest." Emily's hand lifted. "No, Tonight I speak, and everyone will hear. She nodded toward the projector set up for Michael's big announcement. The lights dimmed, and suddenly the screen lit up, but not with Michael's polished presentation. Instead, a video played. The ballroom fell silent as Michael's voice filled the speakers, recorded in all its venom. "You're worthless. You should just die and save me the trouble." Gasps erupted. Faces turned pale. Another clip followed, Michael sneering as he berated her. "This is my house, my money, my life. You're nothing but dead weight." The audience murmured in shock. The mistress's face drained of color. Patricia, Michael's mother, clutched her pearls, her mouth falling open. Emily's voice cut through the noise. "You see, this is the man you've praised. The perfect husband. The devoted family man. But behind closed doors, he is a monster." Michael lunged toward the projector. "Turn it off," he barked. "This is a trick. Fabricated." But before he could, Emily held up a folder. Hospital records, security footage, medical reports, proof that I didn't collapse from stress. Proof that I was brought in beaten, bruised, barely alive. And who caused it? She pointed directly at him. Michael Stone. The crowd erupted in chaos. "No," someone whispered. "It can't be. Is this true?" Emily's eyes swept the room. "Yes, and there's more. While I lay in a hospital bed, fighting for my life, Michael stole from me. From the inheritance my late father left to protect me and my children. He siphoned it quietly, using my trust to fund his greed. I have the financial records right here." She dropped the papers onto the podium. The evidence was undeniable. Michael's mask shattered completely, his face twisted with rage. Lies. All lies. But his voice was drowned by the sound of the crowd turning against him. Patricia staggered forward, her face pale. "Michael, tell me this isn't true." For once, her son didn't have the perfect answer. He stammered, sputtered, his carefully crafted image collapsing. Emily's voice rose above the din calm. "Strong. This is the man you've all admired. This is the man I married. And this is the man who told me I should die." The room went still. Emily's eyes locked on Michael's mistress, still standing frozen at his side. "And you," Emily said, coldly, "did you know? Did you know he was already planning to announce his love for you while he was still married to me?" The mistress's face flushed red. Without a word, she slipped her arm from Michael's and hurried out of the ballroom, her heels clicking in shame. The crowd's whispers grew louder, harsher. Investors shook their heads. Journalists scribbled furiously. Allies slipped quietly toward the exits. Michael's empire was crumbling in real time. Patricia sank into a chair, speechless. The son she had defended so fiercely was revealed as a fraud. Emily stepped forward, her voice steady and clear. "You told me I should die, Michael, but I lived. And now, it's you who has lost everything." Her words struck like thunder. The crowd erupted gasps, applause, even cheers from those who had long suspected something was wrong. Michael stood frozen, his face pale, his power gone. In the corner of the ballroom, David watched silently. He hadn't come to be her savior, not tonight. He came simply to bear witness, to support if needed. But Emily didn't need saving anymore. She stood tall, her head high, her voice unwavering. She wasn't the broken woman on the floor of her mansion anymore. She wasn't the victim of Michael's cruelty. She was the truth, and the truth had set her free. As the night ended, Emily walked out of the ballroom, her twins waiting for her at the door with David. Their little hands clutched hers, their faces full of pride. "Mommy, you were brave," Ella whispered. "You were strong," Ethan added. Emily smiled, tears filling her eyes. "I had to be. For you." The city would talk for weeks. Michael Stone's downfall was complete. His lies exposed, his mistress gone, his reputation shattered. And Emily? She had risen from ashes into fire. Ending moral. Pride, cruelty, and betrayal always destroy themselves. Innocence and truth, no. matter how small, carry the power to save. Because the man who told her she should die had fallen, and the woman he thought was nothing had become everything.